I didn't want. I'm upset about the fight. So people saw the fight. I'm not upset. I mean, dude. I was just, God, dude. I wanted. You just can't, that nobody could beat that man, Khabib. It's not. He's not. It's like fighting lava. It's like fighting like. It's almost like Khabib is like one of those blankets you see on the internet where it's like, oh, you need this heavy blanket. Oh, you can't sleep here. Here's this heavy blanket. For $140, you can get this 30-pound blanket. Bitch, that ain't a blanket. That is a trap. That is a trap, dude. Somebody right now, people are like, oh yeah, they got the new blanket and they've been asleep for a month. Yeah, the baby's been resting for 2 weeks. The baby can't get out the bed because he's under a dang 30-pound blanket. And I just felt like, I don't know, man. Let's take a couple of calls about it. Some people came in, and you guys know that we're cheering for Dustin the Diamond Poirier. And he's that rare element. I mean, he should be on the periodic table. And I think one day he may be. Let's get into a couple of calls that came in on the hotline. As always, the hotline is 985-664-9503.
Gang, what up, Theo? I'm just sitting here heartbroken. I wonder how you're feeling right now. Dustin Poirier just took that loss. What are you feeling?
Let us know, man. We're bummed out over here.
Man, and I tell you this, we got so many calls expressing just people sharing their moods during the fight and what was going on. What my thoughts? I mean, the fight itself, I thought, look, first of all, I don't know anything about fighting, okay? I'm not going to pretend like I do. I don't know. You know, I think Dustin is a very neat person. And I think he's very dynamic as a human. And so I want to see him do well at whatever he's doing. You know, like my investment personally is in him as a human. He happens to be a fighter. He's a great fighter. I just think, you know, like Khabib or however is, he's like kind of like to me, it's not fight. I think it would be neat if they had to be on their feet for half the round and they could then the rest. There's only a certain amount of time they could be on the ground. Now I'm not, and I told Brendan Schaub that, and he goes, well, that's not the sport. And that, you may be right. But for me as a viewer, I'd like to see a little bit, because I want to see both of them be able to do some of the stuff that I really, you know, that I like to watch them do. I like to see the action at different levels. So, you know, that should kind of bum me out because Khabib is fucking boring. The shit is boring, dude. It's like watching somebody lose their house to some lava. Takes, 19 minutes or whatever, and it's fucking boring. So, yeah. I mean, go watch lava, dude. Get on the internet. They got a bunch of lava flows. Dude, I used to watch flow. Man, you could be on a 3-hour YouTube of a flow, bruh. And it finally fucking kills a sapling outside of Kauai. And you're like, oh, shit, man. There goes 3 hours of my life. Thankfully, I had a little bit of cocaine. You feel me, boy? That'll make the lava speed up a little bit. But it was like watching some, I mean, it just, I don't know. And no disrespect, the guy's great at what he does. Just to me, it's fucking boring. To me, it's boring. I'm a dude, I watch what I watch. And I like to consume things how I like. And to me, the shit was boring. And I just, I was just bummed, man. I mean, I was really bummed out. And there's people, at the bar yelling shit. And I watched it with Nick and Gianni. The Premature and the Twink, man. Our crew, we watched it together as a team. And we were, I mean, the venue looked like a damn, no air conditioning. You're like, where are these guys, in a tent out back? And I'm not saying that they just, when I was watching on the Fight Pass, they got this accoutrement you can buy. And you get that special deal on the internet, and you can watch it. And it looked like they were in a damn FEMA tent or something out back. But hey, you're supposed to, they can fight wherever. It just, the live stream or whatever they had was going a lot of it was very boring. The atmosphere seemed kind of mild. And what else? But yeah, I mean, I was definitely bummed. I was bummed for him. I wanted him to be able to win. I know how much he really wanted to win, and it was very evident when you watch his, his interviews afterwards and stuff. And let's get a little bit. We got this call. I'll share a little bit more on my thoughts. We got this call that came in, a perspective from the arena. Here we go.
Hey Theo, what's going on? This is Ali in Dubai.
Hey Ali, thank you for calling, man, and thank you guys for hosting that event. It seemed like, and even Dustin said, it was just an amazing event. And if you watch on Dustin's story, on his Instagram story, they have the dude's eating gold meat, and they're doing all kind of crazy stuff over there. So really, seeing his experience over there is pretty cool. Just to see a guy from just a small place in Louisiana to get to go on that adventure. That's a small victory right there. Let's hear more, Ali.
I just thought I'd call in and give you some perspective on how things went inside the arena last night, since you weren't able to make it. So yeah, it was hot in there. That's the first thing. And there was about 100,000 Russians in the arena.
Wow. And dude, if I see 2 Russians at a gas station, I'm driving off usually, because those guys, dude, they'll drink, dude, they'll sit there, they'll be mixing. They use diesel as a mixer. So you'll see a guy with an orange juice and and 96 petrol, they're dieseling up. You'll see a guy at the Exxon fucking making a pitcher of mixed drinks. There's some tough guys. Let's hear more.
At least that's what it felt like. So your boy Dustin was definitely in some hostile territory, and they were amped up all night. Every fight seemed like it had a Russian guy in it, just different sizes. One guy's like 300 pounds, one guy's like 100 pounds, but they all look kind of the same.
Yeah, I felt like they kept taking one guy in the back and then pulling air, stuffing fat in him or pulling air out of him or putting muscle in him, or just like they were back there Frankensteining. They got a table, they got 19 things, they got a beard, sideburns, no beard, more fat, more muscle. Here's some sternum. Boom, boom, boom. Send him back out. Same guy. More?
And the crowd was getting amped up. There was about 3 more fights just in our section. So it was a crazy environment. And obviously he didn't get the result he wanted, but I just thought I'd, give you a perspective from in there. He definitely, he didn't win the fight, but he definitely won a lot of people over, and he got a lot of respect from the people in the crowd, and I think people all over the world now know who he is and what he stands for, and that's something that he can take with him for the rest of his life. There might be championship belts come and go, but that respect he has, and, kind of putting Louisiana on the map too, he can hold his head high for that. So anyway, all right, bye.
Thank you, Ali. I really appreciate that. I love that on the ground, that live, thank you, bruh. That's really kind of you to share what that experience was like from there. I really, and just the fact that, yeah, you're right. He can hold his head up high. That's something that, yeah, like, I was bummed that, I was definitely upset that he came in second place. I don't see how anybody beats Khabib. It's kind of like when Michael Jordan played. But still, just because you didn't beat Michael Jordan doesn't mean you're not Dominique Wilkins. Dustin is still beat if it's anybody else, if it's any other time existence in the universe, he got half the belt. He got the belt when it wasn't available to Khabib. He's the pinnacle. There's this other pinnacle that's floating off in the distance that's it's on its own frequency. And that's Khabib. But I think something about Dustin is I feel like he probably doesn't even realize, and he may, man. I don't know if I'm being judgmental here or hopeful, I feel like over his tenure as run, especially in the past year, that through fighting and through UFC, he has shown who he is as a person. And a lot of people, even if they have a great vehicle in their life that allows them to achieve dreams or goals, aspirations, rarely does also who they are, which is the bigger victory of them being just a good person, of them fighting the good fight. I mean, that's what his foundation is called, but yeah, fighting the good fight. I think a lot of people realized, oh, I'm a fan of this guy because of who he is. Yes, he's a fighter, but I think he's like a hero to a lot of people. And I know it's a kind of a wild word, but yeah, I mean, I guess he's definitely an inspiration. And so I think, yeah, it's like, I just hope that I think that he kind of transcended the sport a little bit, in the sense that he has gotten, that people see him as a communicator and as a interpreter for good in the world. And that, I don't know. I just, some few athletes get to do that. Few people in their genres of entertainment or of competition get to do that, where you also see their heart, you see who they are. And then that becomes, like, I could see Dustin being a mayor or a governor even. Like, I think he just has this, he has this relentless drive that is going to bring him success in anything he does. But I just, I don't know. Here I am, like, fuck, dude. I sound like, I don't even know. I just think he's such an inspiration to a lot of people. And yeah, he had the belt. He'll have the belt. He might get different belts, but I think he's in this bigger competition. I think where people see, oh, that guy. A lot of fighters, they come and go, but this guy can stay forever if he wants to, as a leader of people. And I just hope he sees that. I hope he sees, because I hope he sees what we can all see, that he's in this bigger competition of inspiring people, that and of kind of like of competing on a higher level, of a human level, that I think that we all want to be in the ring. We all want to be in that ring. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyhow, man, but thanks for that, man. That's really nice of you to send in that perspective and just to have us get an idea of what it was like in there. Yeah, I can't imagine being in there. But I thought it was great, man. It was fun to watch him get out there and perform. It was fun to watch him. To me, it all seemed like a performance, too. But it was very fun to see the excitement in there, and people just, all the crazy beards, and everybody looking like they got pubic hair on them. Everybody's cheeks look like a set of nuts up in there. And they got a damn, everybody's wrapped up in the turbans. What were the concessions like? That's what I would love to know, that, what the concessions were like in there. Like at the concession stand, like, do they have a Pepsi? Do they have a Dynamite? What what's for sale? Yeah, I think Dustin Poirier fights, when I was young, I've said this before, I think, but I couldn't, I was afraid to defend myself. Nobody taught me how to defend myself. And my brother, who is, he's really a lighthouse in my life now, but we didn't have any, we didn't have that. We didn't have the ability to defend ourselves. We didn't even have the confidence to try and defend ourselves. And we grew up in a place and it was a little scary, and it made things tough. But the thing that gets me, I think that I feel like Dustin Poirier fights for people that can't fight for themselves. I feel like he's part of this bigger fight. And that's the thing that I see about him, that that I hope he that he recognizes about himself. You know, he's inspirational. He loves his family. He's connected, you know, to a higher power, and he's fighting the good fight. You know, he's fighting the good fight, and in today's environment, especially with athletes, you know, you see these other guys, egomaniacs, and they don't want to do this and they don't want to do that. And Dustin they sent him out there to the desert, man. What are they, you know? And he took it like a man and said, "I'll go." That's you know, that's the next part of my life. That's the next moment. And I think if he chooses to continue, I think he'll have many more opportunities. But you know, and I hope he will. I'd love to see him whoop a couple more fellas' ass out there. But I'm a fan for life, man. I'm a fan. Look, if that dude decided to run for mayor, or if he decided to be, hell, if he decided to do a cooking show, or if he just decided to start a damn pressure washing business, I'm in. I'm in, dude. I bought in. You know, I ain't got no jewelry, bro, but you know, I'll lay a little bit of money on the diamond, bro. I'll invest in a diamond right there.